Hi, welcome back to the Crypto Dave YouTube channel. Now today we are going to be going through a SmartCash SmartNode setup. So the SmartNode setup guide today, we're going to be setting up on a VPS. I've been promising this video for quite a while and I haven't got around to it, but the trouble is that once you set up a SmartNode, you don't really want to kind of take it offline in order to rebuild it for the video. And I think it's a lot more useful if you can see me going through it step by step rather than just talking you through sort of a static PDF or anything like that. But yesterday with the downturn in the crypto markets, I bought an additional chunk of SmartCash. So I've now got enough to set up a second SmartNode. So that's what I'll be doing today. So I'll be taking you through bit by bit the exact process you will go through to set it up. So there's various things you'll need before we start. So you need a SmartCash Node client wallet, and that basically, if you go to the smartcash.cc website, scroll down towards the bottom, you get to the wallet section and you need this. So it's the Node client, not the web wallet, and there's versions for Windows, 64-bit, 32-bit, Mac OS X and Linux. So you need to grab that, you need to download that, install it and wait for it to sync completely. It needs to sync completely. Once it's synced, go to the settings. You need to encrypt the wallet and then take a backup of your wallet, not that far. So I'm going to presume that you've done this before we actually start the kind of setup. So you need to download the wallet. If you haven't done that, pause the video now, download the wallet, allow for it to sync completely, and then obviously encrypt that with a strong password that you'll remember and back up the wallet file. You're also going to need 10,000 SmartCash. If we jump back to the main site here, you see here's all the exchanges at the bottom that you can grab it on. I grabbed mine yesterday on CryptoBridge, seemed to be a fraction cheaper than some of the other exchanges, but some of these will not have very large volume, so take a look, see if any of these you have accounts with. If not, maybe take a look at CoinMarketCap at SmartCash on that and have a look at the exchange section, and it will tell you the volume, daily volume. So you can pick an exchange that has enough volume. So you'll need 10,000 SmartCash. You'll also need a VPS server. Now I use a Vultr for all my smart nodes and master nodes in general. Now if you don't have a Vultr account, here's my affiliate link. I'll put this in the description below as well. If you could use that, if you don't have an account, that'd be great. I think it's $10 if you actually sign up and start using Vultr, and every little helps towards the cost of master nodes in future months. You'll also need an SSH client. If you're on Windows, Putty is a really good choice. It's free download. If you're on Mac, you can just use Terminal. That's what I normally do. And then you'll probably need an hour or so of your free time. So this is after you've downloaded the wallet and got that synced. So you'll need probably an hour or so to jump through all these different steps. Now, as the video goes on, I will pause from time to time when there's a step that takes like a while. So once we've done some of the stuff on the VPS and it's downloading the blockchain and syncing and stuff like that, I'll pause the video. So this video won't obviously take an hour or so, but it will be probably a little bit longer than my usual videos. So bear with me. Now, what I will also do is put all the instructions, including all the commands that you type in and everything like that, in a PDF, and I'll link that in the description below as well. So you can grab that and then you can watch the video and just kind of follow along at the same time, cutting and pasting the various bits of the various commands and bits of kind of text we'll need. Anyway, let's jump over to my desktop. So this is my Windows desktop. This is my SmartCash wallet. As I said, you need to download this, buy your coins, send coins more than 10,000. So I always send an extra kind of couple over. Sometimes if you withdraw from an exchange, you've got 10,000 exactly, they charge you a withdrawal fee and you'll end up with 9,999 point something. So you need just over 10,000, I'd say, to be safe. Make sure they're in the wallet, make sure the wallet is synced. You'll see here the little tick in the bottom right hand corner, so that's up to date. If you haven't done this yet, go to settings and encrypt your wallet. The wallet will then close down. You'll open that up with your password, and then you also need to back up your wallet. So go to here, back up your wallet. Now the first thing we need to do is create a file called smartcash.conf, and this is in the app data folder. So this is on Windows here. Now on most Windows systems it will be in your C drive, and then users, whatever your username is, app data, roaming and SmartCash. This is the folder we are here, and then basically you probably won't have this file, but it's called smartcash.conf, so C-O-N-F. Now basically what I've done is created a copy of these that I've kind of edited with dummy data. So you won't call it obviously SmartCash space kind of coffee, it will be just smartcash.conf and then the smartnode.conf, which we'll come to later. So I've just made a copy of them so I can open them up and show you what's inside them without actually showing you my actual data. So if you open that, basically this is what we need to put into this file that we've created. So we create a file called smartcash.conf, make sure that Windows hasn't added .txt onto the end of it, and then we need to put in these commands. So rpc user equals and then whatever username you want to use, and then rpc password and then a password. And obviously don't tell anybody this information or any of the other information that we'll be going through. And then you need this third line, which is tx index equals 1. So once you've done that, you need to close down your wallet before you do that. Create this file smartcash.conf, and then you need to put those 3 lines. So that's the rpc user equals, rpc password equals, and tx index equals 1. And you can just make up random username and a password for this. You don't need to worry what it is. So once you've done that, reopen your SmartCash wallet. So I'll have presumed that you've done that. You've closed down your wallet, you've created that file and then set it up again. And now we need to go to file and receiving addresses, and you'll have maybe one, maybe more addresses here. So what you need to do is create a new address and call it something logical. So I'm going to call this address, which I've just set up, SmartNode02. So I have a SmartNode already running on this wallet, doesn't matter. So this is the new one that we're going to use. So SmartNode02. So you create that, and then what we're going to do is copy the address. And what we need to do now is grab just a text file. So just set up a simple little text file, and we're going to use this text file basically to put all the information that we want in. So that's the address that we've just created there. Bear with me, let's grab that back. So we're going to use this little text file, just dump it on the desktop or wherever is convenient, and we're going to have basically the address, then we're going to have the gen key that we're just about to create, the outputs, and then all the VPS details. And it's just useful to have it in one place because we'll need to refer back to some of this information later. So that's all you need to do for now. And then what we need to do is send exactly 10,000 coins to this new address. Now if you go to settings, sorry this is a little bit slow, but I'm doing this over a remote kind of a desktop connection. So if you go to settings and options, and then if we click on wallet, you'll need to click this one here, enable coin control features. This is very useful because it allows us to make sure that we're sending we're not sending stuff that we shouldn't be from different addresses. So if we go to send, then what we will do is grab this address. So that's the address we just created. So this is our new one. When you paste that in, it will come up with the name, whatever you called it, and then if you click on inputs, you can then choose the inputs that you're going to use. So we'll select all of those. You can see my initial smart node is locked, so we can't send that accidentally, which is great. So we've got more than enough there, so all of these are fine. Now the issue, if you've already got one, is that if you click on smart rewards here, this is nothing to do with the smart nodes, but if you have an address, you earn smart rewards each month if you don't send anything out. Now unfortunately I'm going to have to use some of these coins from my initial smart node to send out to the second smart node, so I will lose a month's worth of smart rewards payments. But let's just go back to send. So we're going to send 10,000 exactly. Make sure this isn't checked. We don't want to subtract the fee from the amount, so we're going to send 10,000 to that address. Click send, and then we just put in our wallet password. You have to wait a few seconds. We can click yes, and that then should be sent. And then if we go back to inputs now, you'll see that there's 10,000 in our SmartNode 02, which is our new address, as well as that. So we've got exactly 10,000 in this address. So that's exactly what you want. Now we need to do a few more commands now on the local wallet. So first of all, we need to go to help and debug window. Excuse me. Again, apologies that this is a little bit slow. And then we click on console, and you see there's an input at the bottom here. And basically what we're going to do is type in SmartNode and then a space and then gen key, and then I'm going to hit return, and it will create a long file. Now what we need to do is grab that and put that in our text file. Okay, and then we need to go and run another command, and that is SmartNode outputs. So obviously don't show these to anybody. This is sensitive information, so we've got SmartNode outputs here, and you can see with me I've got two outputs because I've got two now, or I'll be having two masternodes set up on this, but you just need to, oops, sorry, so you need to copy this. Now it's made up of two parts, this one, so there is a long figure, a little bit like our gen key there. So there's one long figure, then there's a space, and then there's a figure here at the end, and it's normally 0, 1 or 2 I believe are the options. If we jump back to our there, now make sure you get rid of all the quote marks and stuff like that. So we'll just have one long string, and then we'll have a space, and then we'll have this index, which is either 0, 1 or 2 at the end. So we need that. We've stored that in our text file, in our temporary text file. So now we can close this down, and what we're going to do now is go over and set up the VPS. So this is vulture.com. You can sign up here for an account. Once you sign up, you'll come to your dashboard, which is like this, and we're going to basically deploy a new server. So you can see here I've got my existing masternode servers, and my SmartNode 01, which is my original SmartNode, is based in London. So we'll set this new one somewhere different. But you click on deploy server, choose a location. Doesn't really matter where you are. I'll choose I think maybe Frankfurt for this one. And then we need to be careful about the server type we choose. So we're doing Ubuntu, and it's 1604, and that's a 64-bit, and that's a long-term support edition. We need this £5 a month server. Just needs 1 gig of memory. So if you look here, 1024 megabytes of memory. We can do that. The rest of it you can ignore. We don't need IP volume 6. You don't need all the auto backups and stuff like that. No startup script needed or SSH keys, anything like that at the moment. What we will do is just type in here what we want to call our host name. So I'm going to call this SmartNode 02. And then once you've done that, click deploy now. Now the server's been successfully added. Now it takes a few minutes to install here. So what I will do is pause the video briefly, and I'll wait for this to install, and then I will resume it. Okay, so it took a few minutes, but you can see here SmartNode 02, it's now running. So if you actually click on the name of it, we'll get here, and there's various information we need to copy over into our temporary text file. So we've got the IP address, so copy the IP address over, and then the username by default will be root, and then we need to copy our password over. So I've copied the password. So now in our text file we've got the SmartNode address that we initially used, our gen key, the outputs, which is the long string plus the index number, and then we've got the VPS details. So we've got IP address, our username, which is always kind of root, and then the password. You can see here it says when it's initially set up, can take a few initial minutes after it says it's kind of been installed for it to completely finish up, but it should be up and running now. I left it a few minutes, so now we can jump over and do all the stuff we need to do with regards to the VPS setup. So what we need to do now is open up our SSH client. So I'm going to use terminal here in Mac, but if you don't have, sorry, bear with me one sec, if you're using Windows, you can just download Putty. So the convention on terminal is SSH, and then oops, root at, and then we'll grab our IP address. So this is just logging into the server as root. Now for the purpose of this, we can just type yes. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong password. So copy and paste our password. You can right click and paste in Putty. I think just right clicking automatically paste stuff into the kind of window, but we're using a terminal here. They're both very simple programs to use. As I said, Putty is free on Windows if you want to use that, but I find terminals fine just for these kind of bits and pieces. Now there's various commands. We've initially logged into, there's various commands we need to run now, and again these will all be in the document below. So the first one is apt-get update. So this is just updating all the packages installed on the server. So we've got a base server installed, so let's grab those, and now we are going to upgrade them. So apt-get upgrade. Again, if it's the first time you've ever done anything like this, you can literally cut and paste them from the guide into your server. It should be fine. Then just click yes. So it's just saying there'll be some additional space used as it grabs the packages. So leave that for a couple of minutes to run. Shouldn't take more than 1 or 2 minutes, and then it will take you back to your command prompt. Okay, so that took 2 or 3 minutes to run. So we're back at the command prompt, and then the next line we're going to do is just make a directory. So that's mkdir, and then we'll call it SmartNode. So we're making a directory, then we cd, which is change into that directory. So we're just moving into that directory. And then basically we're grabbing the installation file. So it's as simple as this. We paste this file in. So it's wget, which basically grabs this URL. So you can see it's an install.sh file. It'll take a second or two to grab it, and then we will run it. So we run it by running the bash command like so. And then, as you say, there's a warning there. So the script will reboot the server when it's finished. Enter to continue, that's fine. And this is where we basically need to configure some bits and pieces using the information we grabbed earlier. So custom SSH port. So if you just want to use the regular SSH port, which is 22, you can just hit enter. And then the SmartNode gen key. So this was the first command we ran earlier on the wallet. So we need to grab that and copy it in, and then hit return. And it will build the lists and the kind of packages, and this will take a few minutes as well, so maybe we'll pause this for a second until it's done. And the other thing that will happen is that once it's finished installing all of this, it will reboot the machine. So I will pause the video now, and once the machine is rebooted we need to log back into it. So here we are, it's already done it. So we can SSH back into the machine. Just grab the password again. Paste that in. Okay, so basically that installation file, so that installs our SmartNode. So it installs all the software, it installs the daemon and various other bits and pieces, and then what we can do is run commands on our server now in order to get information about what's happening. So the first one that we will run is SmartCash -CLI and get info, and basically this will give us information about the downloads of the kind of blocks. You can see here 1,776 blocks. So basically at the moment the our VPS, so the SmartNode daemon on the VPS is downloading the blockchain. So the blockchain is being downloaded to our VPS and it's just syncing and getting up to date. So if we just run that same command again, if you just hit up, it will give you the same command and hit enter. You can see we've gone from 1,776 blocks now to 2,900. Now this will take a while. It might take half an hour, it might take an hour to finish. So check back maybe every 10 minutes or so. Just run that same command until you get up to basically the last block, and you can double check that by going to your wallet, your local wallet. So we can see here. We have 551,846. So we're talking about just over 500,000 blocks that we've got to catch up with. So if we just run it once more before I pause the video, You can see here up to just over 11,000 blocks now. So it'll probably take about half an hour to get to up to date. So that's just 500,000, was it just 550 odd thousand blocks. So I will pause the video now and we will be back once this has completely synced. So as I said, when you run it and it gets to the same blocks as is shown in your local wallet, you're up to date, and then we can do the next step. But I'll pause the video for now. Okay, so it's probably been half an hour or so, and if we use the same command to check it, we can see we're now up to the correct block 551869, which is the same as my wallet at the moment. So now basically we need to check the status of the SmartNode. So we can copy the following command in. So it's SmartCash -CLI and it's SmartNode space status. And then what you will get is one of two different returned kind of commands. So basically a couple of things could happen here. You'll either get node just started, not yet activated. It tends to say that when it's still syncing, and once it's synced but it hasn't been activated, you'll get this, which is not capable SmartNode, and then hyphen, and then SmartNode not in SmartNode list. So that means it's synced but it hasn't been started with the local wallet. So now we need to go back to the local wallet and finish up our remaining little bits and pieces and start the master node. So let's jump back to the wallet. So this is a wallet here. So we've done everything now on the VPS. We'll leave that terminal window open so we can just check the status once we've actually enabled it and stuff like that. But what we need to do now is close down the wallet. So we'll exit the wallet, and then we need to go back to our app data folder. And this is a copy I made of the following file. So it's smartnode.conf. This is a file you need to edit. So you can edit this just in a text editor. Now I copied this, I'll open it up just quickly, but I copied this and just to show you really what it looks like. So it'll have this example thing. So a hash basically means the line is ignored. So basically this is what controls each smart node. So each smart node will have a line like this. Now this will be smart node number 2. I'm using demo data from here. This isn't the live data, so don't worry, I haven't put in my private keys, anything like that. So the first bit you need to do is an alias, and this is what the smart node will be called in your local wallet. So in our case it's smartnode 02. Then the IP address, so this is the IP address of our VPS that we set up in Vultr. Then a colon, and then the port number. So the default port number is 9678. If you haven't changed that to something else, that will be fine. Then a space, and then we have our gen key. So this was in our temporary text file. You need to grab the gen key. This is the same one that you put into the VPS setup. Then another space, and then we need to put the 2 bits of our outputs. So the first bit is the long string, and then a space, and then whether it was a 0 or a 1 or a 2. So again, these should be in your text file. You should have copied these over, and that's all we need to do. So make sure this is all on one line. Make sure this is not it's not wrapping. So make sure if you've got it in kind of a notepad or WordPad or something, that it hasn't wrapped to another line. Basically each smart node needs one line. So this is your actual IP address of your VPS, the port number, and then you've got your gen key, private gen key, and then you've got the 2 bits of your output. So when I first set up my first smart node, it wasn't apparent that this second bit of the kind of outputs shouldn't be longer than just, you know, a single kind of digit, but it isn't. So do that, make sure that's correct for all your thing, then you can close that down. As I said, this will be smartnode.conf. I just put the copies of them up with sample data so you can see what they look like, so I can open them up without having to sort of freeze the screen. So once that's done, we need to open back up our SmartCash wallet. And just give that a second or two to start up. Okay, so the wallet's completely synced. So if we go to smart nodes, and then you'll come to this sort of index page with all the different smart nodes. You can see there's a node count up here on the top right, 16,281, and you'll see most of them are enabled, but some of them are expired, and some of them have an update required. And if you look at the protocol, the version we just installed was 90026. And there's some of the previous versions, so 90025. Now these are all sort of out of date kind of master nodes. Now they haven't been upgraded to the latest version. They won't actually be contributing to the network and receiving rewards. But if we jump over to my smart nodes, we should see You can see here SmartNode 01, that was one that we already had, and then SmartNode 02. So if you didn't have a previous SmartNode, you'll just see this. So you'll see your SmartNode IP address and then the protocol, and it will have a status of missing. That's because we haven't started it yet. So what you need to do is click on Start Missing. So if we click on that, oops. Are you sure you want to start missing masternodes? Yes. Then we just have to put in our wallet password. Successfully started 1 SmartNode, failed to start 0, total 1. So what you should see basically is that same thing. So you should see that it's been successfully started, and it will change the status from missing to pre-enabled. Now you don't need to worry, it will then go from pre-enabled to enabled after a while. It normally takes about, I think it's about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes to go from pre-enabled to enabled. But what we can also do is jump back over to the VPS. So we left the terminal open earlier. I don't know why syndicates intrude in that way. Anyway, so we can go there and we can run the same command as we did before, which is SmartCash-CLI SmartNode space status. Sorry about that, just been driving past. And then if we hit that, you should then see the difference in things. So whereas before we had not capable SmartNode, we now have SmartNode successfully started. So that's all running successfully. We can hit exit to exit from the VPS. We don't need that anymore. And then just keep an eye on this, and in sort of 20 minutes or so, come and have another look, and it should be from pre-enabled to enabled. As I said, it normally takes about a quarter of an hour, something like that, I believe. Anyway, that's it for setting up a SmartCash Smart Mode. Hopefully that was informative. Hopefully it's probably a longer video than normally, but hopefully the steps were relatively straightforward and easy to follow. If you just follow through the guide, it should be pretty straightforward. I think the most difficult things people have had is that sometimes people are setting up their smartcash.conf file and Windows is adding like a .txt to the end of it because they aren't it's hiding known file extensions and stuff like that. People have had problems if they're not sending exactly 10,000 across, so you might have sent 10,000 across but removed or taken the fee out of the 10,000, so it's not the right amount. But if you followed all those steps here, you know, chose the right Ubuntu server, it should be running properly. If you have any problems, ping me in the comments below. Let me know in a comment below. Probably the best way of getting, I'm not a masternode or server expert, probably the best thing to do is to go to the Discord group, and I'll link to that below. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope it wasn't too long, and hopefully it was pretty informative. But if you have any questions, as I said, let me know in the comments below. If you want me to explain things in more detail or clarify anything, or anything wasn't clear, just let me know below. Thanks very much again, and hopefully I will see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye bye.